She First. First, leader, greatness, hope, and dreams. Women have defied the norm and pushed through the barricades to change culture, technology, and life as we know it. Come listen to our weekly podcast and be inspired by the incredible stories of women and how they managed to be the first in a world that encourages women to be second. What are you waiting for? Be first. She is strong, she is deliberate, she is brave. She First.
All right. Hello, Sheila. Thank you so much for joining us today on an episode of the She First podcast. I'm so glad that we're going to have this conversation and explore how brave, deliberate, and strong you are. I'm looking forward to this conversation. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, talk a little bit about yourself, how we met, and just who you are in general as Sheila.
Oh, thank you so much, Alice Berry, for this opportunity. I was super excited the whole week. Honestly, I was just looking forward to today. I'm very honored to be part of She First. It's I listened to a few previous podcasts, and wow, amazing! I'm just so honored to be part of this.
Oh,
Um,
well, you fit the role. So let's
yes,
let's
I'll take
let's
it.
dive into it for sure.
Yes. My name is Sheila. Sheila Namisi. Where we met. We met in high school through my very lovely friend Karen, your sister. She featured
Mm-hmm.
in previous podcasts, and we're a year above, definitely. And it has been, I think, besides high school, I came to um, St. Catherine's a couple of years back, and we
Yes,
had
you
a good
did.
time. Yeah,
Yes,
I think those I'm looking forward to more times coming back to St. Catherine's.
yes.
Definitely. Yeah.
For sure, I can say, you know how your sisters can have friends,
Yeah.
your siblings can have friends, but I can say that you are one of the people that I can say that I was glad you're my sister's friend. You know how your sisters can
Oh,
have some
thank you.
sticky friends, and you're like,
Yeah.
that person, I don't know if they're good for you, but you seemed like solid. We didn't really interact much in high school because you guys were a class lower than me,
Yes.
but you can tell and you can see the crowd that your siblings hang with, and um for sure I can say I didn't have anything against you, and you were a good, you seem like a good young lady, you know what I mean?
Thank you
And
so
you're
much.
super smart. So I'm like, my sister needs to surround herself with smart people. So yes, I do remember meeting in high school, but more or less interacting more with you when you came to St.
St.
Catherine's.
Catherine's. Yes.
All right, awesome. So tell us about Sheila. Who are you? What do you do? What's your background? Do you have siblings? What do you do for work? Tell us about yourself as Sheila Namisi.
Wow. Who's Sheila Namisi? Well, where do I start from? Sheila is I'd say I'm a very interesting person because you can get so many sides of me. Most people know me for being very smart, reading books and all
Exactly.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, I'm a very playful person. I'd say I enjoy having fun. I I love being in a good space,
Mm-hmm.
especially just being able to encourage. Being in a place where I can help someone, encourage someone. I really love such spaces. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'd say most of my friends, that is the energy we have around each other. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my background, I was born in Uganda, born and raised in Uganda, and I
Woo
came to
woo.
Canada. Yes, I came to Canada to study, and I just completed my bachelor's in chemistry, um, well, in May. And thank God I'm working as a quality control analyst. And it has been a very interesting, you know, change from
Mhm,
being a student to now being a full-time worker. And I
mhm,
just love the challenge it brings and the growth that comes with it.
mhm,
Back home, I am the firstborn or in a family of four. I have three siblings, and I'm the firstborn. I have a sister and two brothers.
mhm,
And wow, I'd say besides that, yeah, I'm also like a second mom to them. Yeah, and I really miss them so much. Growing
mhm.
up this side and then that side, yeah, I really miss
Mhm,
them so much. But I make it a point to keep communicating with them every day.
mhm,
Yes.
mhm. Yeah, I believe as firstborn daughters, we kind of become the second mom without like it's not even like assigned to us, it just becomes because we have to prepare to be mothers of us for our own kids, but at the same time we
Yeah,
love these young siblings of
it's
ours
a
so
natural
much,
love. Yeah,
right?
you just can't do it, honestly.
Right, and I usually call Hildegard my firstborn and Karen my secondborn because I'm like these guys are like my children and I love them so much. So I can relate when you say you
Yeah,
love them and you sometimes are like their second mom. I do understand missing your siblings, especially if they're back home. I am blessed that they both were able to come, but my first 3 years here I was alone by
yeah,
myself, and WhatsApp was our best friend because that's how we kept in touch and communicated
true.
with each other. So when you say you miss your siblings, I
Trust
understand what
me.
you're saying.
Sometimes, like, I get fussy when they don't communicate, and I'm like,
Hmm.
why? Like, I'm here, communicate with me. I try to,
Yeah,
but I also don't want to be that very pushy big sister, I
yeah.
want them to, like, just because they're now all growing up, you get to see them grow up, become
Hmm.
now
Hmm.
men, and like,
Right.
my little sister, sometimes I forget she's now like her own woman. And
Hmm.
I'm just like, I still want to baby you.
Right.
Like,
Let me give you an example, Sheila. And I agree with the whole not wanting to push too much, but at the same time you want to keep them close.
oof,
When Karen moved to Prince Edward Island, whoa, I was my heart was like, oh my goodness, she's going out there alone. She's first of all she's mommy's baby,
yeah,
so this girl better not mess this up. At the same time, I'm worried for her, but I trust her at the same time. So there's
yeah,
so many mixed feelings about that. And Karen is the example I'm going to use because we both know Karen.
yes,
She's sometimes very quiet and to herself, and the whole talking on the phone for a long time is not something she does. And I am like that. Me, I want to talk and talk and talk and talk.
every detail.
So exactly. And that makes us completely two different people. But at the same time, I have learned to have to trust her and understand that, you know what, this is my little sister. She loves me. I love her. This is who she is. And it's been a journey. So when you say you want to hear them, talk to them, and but you don't want to push them,
True.
I can understand where you're coming from. Awesome. All right, the next part, so we just came out of she is, we're going to go and she did it. So you've kind of already spoken about what you do, your occupation, which is amazing. You did mention you went to school for chemistry, bachelor in chemistry.
Yes.
Gee, wow, I'm not, chemistry, biology, those subjects were not my friend. I did them to be able to graduate, but I didn't even do them in like my follow-up A level in high school. So when you say bachelor's in chemistry, I'm looking at you, I'm like, hey, so what exactly led you to do that? Like what made you feel like, you know what, I would like to do this course? What put you in that place to actually pursue a bachelor's in something that difficult?
Well, honestly, to be very honest and frank, I wasn't going for chemistry when I came here to study. I actually
Hmm.
wanted to do engineering, but then things happened, and long
Hmm.
story cut short, because I think that would be something else. It would really take a
Hmm.
long time to finish that story. What happened because I was put in a situation where I had to choose, do I keep on chasing something that is going to take me years and years to complete, or what else do I go for? And like back home, it's very important, especially as a woman, to finish doing milestones at a young age. And I was put in a situation where do I keep on chasing engineering? It would take me about probably like 8 years, because I had to I think I had to do a foundation course and then get into the faculty, which was a bit difficult since I was an international student. So I was like, what's the next do? And being a person who likes being practical, it was either actually a subject that I love is mathematics, and the other one is biology. But both of them, I saw myself in a position where I'll be most likely sitting and just having to be in an office, and that is not the kind of person I am. I like being practical. You know, discovering new things really excites me. So I saw this course, biopharmaceutical chemistry, and just it's along the lines of pharmacology, so making medicine, and it just excited me. I'm like, I can, try to invent medications. I can, put myself out there to be like practical, because that field is more research based. So that got me excited, and I was like, you know what, Sheila, you don't really love chemistry, but see how it goes. And I'm not kidding you. 1 year into it, I fell in love with chemistry. Like, I have arguments with my friends where they're like, oh, chemistry is hard. And I'm like, no, it's not. You just have to get into it, because it's a very repetitive course, I would say. Yes, it's very repetitive, and the way it's meant to be done is how it will be done, unless someone else comes and is like, let me try to do it this way, but it's still going to be under the same principle. So I fell in love with it, and a few years down later, I have my bachelor's degree, and I am very thrilled about it, because I got to work and I'm actually excited. Like, I don't feel the 8 hours of work. I'm more like, okay, I'm coming in tomorrow and I'm going to do this. So I'm just so glad I was able to challenge myself in that way, because if I stuck for my comfort zone, and I'd say also God knows the way He plans His things. He honestly has the best plans for you. That's all I can say, because the way things have worked out, like, I finished school right away, I got a job, and I'm loving it. It's not like I am struggling with it. I'm really loving it, and I just see myself in a space where I'm excited to grow and be better. And I'm grateful to God, honestly.
That's good. I'm glad you're mentioning God, because God is definitely key. When it comes to doing school, work, relationships in general, God is definitely always key. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because not so many people believe in God, right? In this Western world we live in, there's so many opinions that everyone is entitled to. But I'm glad that that is something that you can say, that I do believe and I trust that God does have a plan for me, and right now His plan is working its way in my life. And when you say you don't feel that 8 hours, I'm like, wow, that is really nice and impressive, because not everyone enjoys work, right?
True.
Some people are working to pay bills, but you being able to go in and say, 8 hours, what? Are done, right? So that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. As we are still did it, based off as we go along the line of being educated and chemistry, what is one myth that you would like to debunk when it comes to your profession, or your what you do for work? What myths do you have that you've heard, that is, goes around in the world, and you're like, no, actually that's not true. I am in the field, I'm out there doing this thing, and that's actually not true. Is there any that you know of that you can debunk?
I would say when I was going back home during my studying period, that's when I had started doing the chemistry degree. I went, you tell people I'm doing chemistry, and then they'll be like, ah, what are you going to do with that? Um, are you planning on being a teacher? I'm like, is that all people think about chemistry?
Mm,
I'm like, there's a lot of things you can do with chemistry. It's like
mm,
things you do, and it's like a very open. I don't know what word
mm,
to use, but it's very open. Um,
mm,
you can go into research, you can go into teaching if you want to. You could go into um, work. There's very many fields. You could go into the pharmaceutical side of it. You could go
mm,
into the industrial part of it. It's
mm,
just so broad, and there's so many occupations and jobs you can do with this chemistry degree that people don't know about. They just think of chemistry and they're like, it's something that is just so small. You could just only
mm,
be this, but there's so
mm,
many jobs that come with it, and I just like to let people know that if if you feel like you're someone who enjoys chemistry, do not hold yourself down thinking that you won't have a lot to go with it. There's so
mm,
many jobs, and it's not like you're working because there's not so many people in the field. So even the opportunities are so many. There's so many
mhm.
opportunities, and they pay well too. So go
I
for it
can
if it's
imagine.
something you love.
I can
Yeah.
imagine you spend so much time in school. It is not, to be honest, I think you have to have a level of smart. Allow it, please, because I think every job or every occupation, there has
Yeah.
to be a level of either talent, smart,
Yes.
or
That's
just God's grace. Because I for one, I'm not even like, I was that student who preferred art,
yeah.
English, history. When it came to biology and chemistry, it was like a different language to me, regardless of how hard I tried.
Yeah.
I I agree. I honestly, I personally did not think farther when it came to what you can do with chemistry. I do know that and I had an idea of the pharmaceutical part, because it's chemicals that
Yeah.
create medicine and perfumes and all that stuff. But that's as much as I knew, right? But when you say there's so much more to chemistry, and it makes sense, right? It makes so much sense,
Yeah.
because everything is created through chemical of some sort, right? So it's very
Everything.
encouraging to know, right?
It's
It's
even
encouraging to know that
yeah.
you can, if you want to do it, you can go ahead and do it, and you can most definitely succeed in it. It's very encouraging
Definitely.
to
Yeah.
hear that. Um, the last part of this segment, she did it, is there any three people that have been the most influential to you?
Wow. Three people. Ah. That's a very small number. I feel like
I know. And the reason I chose three is
yeah.
because people like us have so many people to be thankful for, right? Because of how
Yeah.
far we've come, how hard we've pushed. There's so many people that we can say, this person, this person, this person. And I
Mm-hmm.
only chose three because there's that person you thought of as soon as you said it, three most influential people. Even if it's
Yeah.
just one, there is always going to be that one person that didn't do this, I would not be here. If this person didn't say this to me, I don't think I would be here. That's why I chose just three. But if it's just one, that's fine as well.
Wow. I would say most of my appreciation goes to I'd say God God first, honestly. Because
Mm-hmm.
there's so many situations I went through, and I reached a point where I was like, what is happening? Like, make me understand it. And through it all, like, there was, there was, when things just happen and you're like, okay. And like, I kept strong through it all. So one is God for giving me the strength in every situation, strength and wisdom. Very grateful. And then I'd say both my parents as second and third, because they have been, wow, they have held me through it all. They really like held me, even like in situations, because being the first one, there's so much pressure that comes with it. There's, I don't know if I can explain this pressure. Like, you feel like you have so much to hold. Like, you're that first child who has to, have everything perfect for the rest,
Prove everyone wrong.
exactly, and also prove everyone wrong. They look at you as, is she going to get spoiled? Is she going to? But even with like the challenges I feel like when I came to them as my parents, they still embraced me. They still showed me that love, and I find that so important, especially, you know, when I finished high school, I was 17, and I came to live this side by myself. So they faced a lot of like backlash of like, you sent the girl when she's still young, she's your
Oh
firstborn.
yeah.
And they still had that trust in me. Like, I'm just so grateful for one, the trust they put in me. It's like mind blowing. And just continuously believing in me, even when things were hard. Like I mentioned, I came here to do engineering, and then I had to change my career completely. They still embraced that, and they still supported me through it all, withholding, any judgment, but just continuously encouraging me, and that means a lot. It really means a lot. Growing up, away from them, um, it's uh, they, they're my second and
I
third, I
I
would say.
I
Yeah,
completely I can't even fault you for that, because for me, my parents didn't even understand fully what graphic design was.
yeah,
They had an idea of it because I had done a 6-month course at home at a
yeah,
small college, very tiny college, called Artfield. So I had done that, but I think the the fruits of it, they had not fully understood it.
yeah,
I was designing things here and there, but I think they were not seeing this as an actual career. And with that still, they were confident to say, okay, we're going to send this girl to a different country and a different continent to pursue this graphic design that we are still
right,
learning about,
yeah.
right?
Imagine,
Uh, right? And I'm the first one. So this is a huge
yeah,
putting out here. It's a lot of money that, trying to
mm-hmm.
put aside for tuition. So I can wholeheartedly understand when you say your parents, because not everybody has supportive parents, right? Not
That's
everybody has parents who will, you know, stand with them when they decide to change their program and
true.
continue to be there for them. Not everybody has that, right? So I hear you, and I thank you, mommy and daddy Sheila, for that 100%.
Yes,
Okay, now we're gonna go into the next segment, which is She Tried It. So what happens? I'm gonna ask you two very unusual questions,
okay,
um, and see what your take is on them, and then we'll discuss them, those answers that you give us.
sure.
So the first question is, if you could describe your job to a 5-year-old, how would you explain it? The reason I have this question is in here is because sometimes now, like your role,
Yeah,
it seems very complicated, but sometimes we need to bring it down and
yes,
have a moment to be proud of ourselves for what we do, right? So with you sitting there and trying to bring it down, bring your role to a 5-year-old understanding, it makes you sit down and think about exactly what you do, which gives you a level of satisfaction. So how would you describe your job to, let's say, 5-year-olds, your 5-year-old
Wow.
self, or someone that's 5-year-old, 5-year-old?
5-year-old, 5-year-old. Hmm.
Yeah. So no big words, no analysts.
To a 5-year-old, I would say that, do you see that medicine you take?
Mhm.
I My job is to make sure that it has. Oh wow, I've already gone. My job is to make sure that it is safe for you to put it in your tummy and it won't make you sick.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice,
that's the
nice.
simplest way I could break it.
That's, to be honest, and if I think about it, that is a very important role, because imagine somebody's already sick, right?
Yeah.
And they already need medicine, and then they're putting this medicine into their stomach that's not good. So that is
And
a very important role.
sometimes
And
I pinch myself and I'm like, Sheila, because it's a very delicate role. You have to,
Mhm,
be very analytical and make sure that you're not just sending out results just because it's really
mhm,
important to make sure that um the results are correct, and because there's so many people counting on it. If you get it wrong,
mhm,
so many people may be affected. And yeah,
mhm.
I
Lives
that's
could be lost.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm,
That in fact that's the most important part they tell you, even like your whole it's that serious. Lives could be
mhm,
lost. So I in at the start I was just like, wow, this is going to be me. And yeah, but now I do it with love. I'm like, okay, to make sure that I'm sending
yeah,
out the correct results and I enjoy it.
yeah. And you're doing it. You're killing it. You're amazing at it. So yeah,
Yeah,
kudos to you, man. Go girl.
thank you.
All right. The next question is, if you would if you would be any color in the crayon box, which color would it be and why?
Ooh, wow, I'd say I'll be ah okay, that's a very in the crayon box. I I'd be lilac. I love lilac. Oh my god. I
Oh.
just love it. The fact that it's sort of like it's it combines both the colors that I like. I love white and I love purple. And like lilac
Mhm,
is like the perfect um mixture of both.
mm,
And
mhm.
like I just love lilac.
Yeah.
So
I can see
I'll be lilac.
lilac being you. I can see that for sure. I
Yes.
like that. All right. So we're going to go into the next segment. She got it. So this is going to be just 10 random questions, no thinking about it. Just answer them. Because these questions would speak to you as a person, and who you are and how you live life. So the first one is going to be talking or texting.
Texting. Texting.
As I thought so, because I'm like, Karen likes texting and your Karen's friend, so you need you probably have the same answer.
On text.
Favorite day of the week.
Saturday. Saturday. Ooh,
Okay.
love it.
Favorite city besides the one you live in right now.
Edmonton.
Mm. Nickname your parents used to call you.
Wow, I've actually not heard a nickname from my friends.
So
But
just Sheila.
they call me Kate.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Last song that you listened to.
Ooh, Coco White. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. No, that's good. That's good. Would you rather speak every language in the world, or would you rather speak sign language?
Every language in the world. I'm very inquisitive
Okay.
about languages. I love
Right?
learning.
It's
Yeah.
interesting, right?
Very. Yeah.
Um, Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Christmas. Wow,
Yeah.
everybody actually on here that I've talked to has said Christmas. I'm like,
After my birthday,
interesting.
it's Christmas. Then it's
Nice,
September.
nice one. Nice one. On a scale to 1 to 10, are you a good driver? How good of a driver are you?
Hmm. I'm sorry, Sheila. I'm getting there. I'll say a six. A six.
Okay, that's good. That's a pass. Would you rather be invisible or super strong?
Invisible.
Hmm.
Invisible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dawn or dusk?
Dawn. Dawn. Yeah.
Dawn.
Yeah.
And then the last one, would you rather use a pencil or a pen?
Um. Pen. Pen.
Pen. Okay.
Yeah.
That's Thank you so much for those answers. Some of those answers your personality. So like the pencil, usually individuals that choose pen are more confident with themselves or with
Yeah.
their answers or how they put themselves out there. They're confident because with a pen, once you put it down, you can't take it out.
That's it.
And
Once.
individuals who
Yeah.
pick pencil and individuals who pick pencil are more the growth type. Like they're always looking to grow, they're always looking to become better and bigger, and like there's that level, that room
Yeah.
um for growth and education. So it speaks to a personality, which all are good and amazing because everyone is different and we only strive
Should
when
be.
we are
Yeah.
all different, right? It would be so boring if all of us are the same. All
Yeah.
right, so we have come to the end. The last segment. Oh, before we go to the last segment, do you have a question for me? Is there any question you have for me?
Wow. I would say, what's the thing that keeps you going every morning? You know, do you wake up
To
and
wake up in?
yeah,
Um, to be honest, there's a couple of things. Depending on what my goal is in that time in my life, I'm not going to lie. There's times in my life where I have different goals and different expectations of myself that would keep me going. Um, for the past couple of years, it has just been to be a better version of myself. And that's pretty broad. But right now, a better version of myself is to keep my job, you know, be a good citizen of the
yeah,
community, give back to the community, um, and just be a good person in general, as well as make sure I maintain my relationships, especially the one I have with God.
yeah,
So just of thinking of this morning, what made me get up this morning. Um, I had to go to work, so I'm thinking I have a wedding to pay for.
yeah.
So
Oh
that got me out of
yes!
bed. Yes,
Wow! Congratulations!
yes.
Oh,
Thank
ah,
you,
I was
thank
like,
you.
that was so beautiful. Oh my!
Yeah, thank you. Well, we
Congratulations!
expect you to be there soon.
On it. Then
So yeah,
when
so
and where I'll be there.
no problem. Don't worry, your invite will come through. So I had to wake up to go to work. So regardless of how early it is, it's like I gotta go to work and make this money. But also just because I'm grateful for being alive. Today after work, I came back home. I had an event. There's an organization that I'm part of, Table and Women's Ministry, where we're just ministering to the community as women, and I am their social media and marketing director. So I had to go and take pictures and just being grateful that I have a house to sleep in. We went out there and we talked to these homeless people that don't have where to stay, that don't have where to live, they don't have food. And I'm waking up and I'm like, thank you, Lord, that I have a bed to sleep in. Thank you, Lord, that I have a roof over my head. So that in itself is going to give me that drive to get up in the morning and be a good Alice Mary to the world, right? Also this interview today, this evening, it was something that I was like, if I'm not waking up this morning, I'm not going to have this interview. And this is amazing conversation that we need the world to hear. These amazing individuals, these women that are, working really hard at defying different odds. So this interview in itself was something that pushed me to wake up in the morning. So it varies
Yeah.
based off where I'm at in life, what my priorities
Mm.
are, and because sometimes we don't want to wake up like
That's
those winter
true.
mornings when it's
Yes.
cold and it's like,
Oh
oh
my,
my
those winter
gosh.
mornings, you're like, it's
Right,
ten more
but at the
minutes.
end of the day,
Okay. Yeah.
right, And at the end of the day, it's just in that time in my life,
Yeah.
where am I? Where am I and what needs to get done? And that's an honest. I can say, oh, I can try to think of a profound answer, but as me, Alice Mary, I think it depends on where I'm at in life, what my priorities and goals are that just, push me out of bed. And also just being genuinely grateful that I can actually wake up because people pass in their sleep, right?
True.
So, yeah, that was a good question. That's a good question.
Thank you. Oh,
All right. So we're gonna go to the last part. Give us the tea. So it's a two-part question. If you could tell your younger self anything in a sentence, what would it be? So let's say 10-year-old Sheila, what would you tell her? Knowing, having lived all this long and, having experienced life, what would you tell her?
I would tell my younger self to learn to be bold in the decisions I make and to especially to say no because I feel like that was something I struggled with back then, and I'm just so grateful for the space I'm in now that you know I've learned how to be bold in the decisions I make and be proud of them. Not to kind of like waver and like that be doubtful of the person I am. So I'd say be bold in the decisions you make and
Nice.
be proud of them because there's only one person that can be you, and that's me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of being Alice Mary. That's the beauty because um, I got to discover this at an older age in life because we tend to it's good to have role models, but it's also good to um, I don't know, appreciate the person you are because once you are able to do that, then I don't know, it's that different energy and aura that comes with it in appreciating the person that you are and even the decisions you make. You get to also because my changing point was when I discovered that there are actually people who look at me and they want to be me, but I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
confident in the person that I was. And
Mm-hmm.
being able to do that now, I just love the growth that has come with it. So yeah, that would be the thing I tell my
That's good. That's good. I usually have this in here to encourage anyone out there, any younger ladies that could be listening, that could be going through um, anything, and just a level of confidence because like you said, sometimes being the firstborn, there's already that pressure, and saying no sometimes is difficult because the expectation to be perfect is
perfect.
already
Yeah,
set in place, right? And also being confident in the decisions you make because we are smart. Women,
true.
we are known to be smart regardless, right? So being confident in the decisions we make. So thank you so much for that answer. Um, okay, so the last part is, do you have any like social media that you'd like to shout out, any businesses that you'd like to shout out, or anything, just so that I can put it in the description and then people can find you and give you, I don't know, if there's any.
Wow. Right now I'm on a journey of like trying to get off my social media because
Oh,
for like the longest time I couldn't put down my phone. Why?
mm,
Like and it's also like in this age and like, day, social media is good,
mm-hmm,
but I don't know, it was getting to a negative part of me. So I would say I could share my Instagram, but it's not that I've been really active on it
mm-hmm.
recently because I'm
And that's fine.
yeah,
That's fine, especially if you're on that journey to
yeah,
stay away, which is fine.
yeah, to be
At the end
independent
of the
from social media. Yeah,
exactly,
and
and that's something that, to be honest, like today, this day and age, people, it's going to be hard. Like some people will be like,
true,
how can I spend the day without going on Instagram and Facebook?
true,
So that kudos to you for sure. That's
yeah.
fine. If anybody needs to get in touch with Sheila, they can contact me.
For sure.
on my
Yes.
social media platforms, She First, and we can get you in touch with this amazing mind. Awesome. This was really, really good. Thank you so much for your time, Sheila. I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me, regardless of all our technical difficulties that we
Oh
went
my.
through. Um,
This whole technical world. Oh
right?
man.
But it's amazing because we get to sit down and talk. I would not be able to come to Manitoba right now.
True, true.
I don't have it, and with COVID and everything, so
Yeah.
we've been able to do that through technology. So thank you. Appreciate you
Thank
for
you
taking
so
the
much,
time,
Alice. Right.
and
Yeah.
no problem. And may God bless you.
God bless you too. And I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I'm very grateful I got to share not just a nugget of what I did. And I really hope someone out there was blessed. And it's all thanks to you. Thank you for, even thinking that I would have information that would benefit someone.
Of
I was
course.
really honored. I am really grateful. Yes.
That's, I'm glad. I'm glad. We had a good time. All right, so we're gonna close out today and watch out for the next episode in the following week.